Hello, my name is Kirioth, and today we're going to talk a little bit about DLC, season passes, and all of that absolute scrollocks that everybody hates. So, we're talking about this today because I saw something earlier. I saw that there is a new bit of DLC for Civilization VI. Excellent. I enjoy that game. Good game. Nicely done. And I had a look. I looked to see how much it was, and I was surprised. I was shocked. I was not impressed. And in fact, if I'd have been one of those people who paid for the deluxe edition, which I didn't, because I didn't have the money for it at the time, I would be severely unhappy at this stage. Now, what we're going to do quickly is we're just going to compare another game with a season pass / bits of standalone DLC and a deluxe edition with Sid Meier's Civilization 6. And from this point, I'm just going to say Civ 6 because I keep saying Sid Meier's Civilization 6. You all know what it is, and I don't know why I'm spelling it out every time. So let's have a quick look. This is Dark Souls 3, another fantastic game, absolutely love it, quality work again. So, Dark Souls 3 by itself is $39.99. The deluxe edition is $59.98, which makes sense because the season pass is $19.99. So you get that, and you get that, and it makes that. That's not bad, especially when you consider that the two pieces of DLC by themselves are £11.99 and £11.99. So you get a saving there. You get an okay saving. That's what, about £4? Well, technically £3.98, but you get what I mean. Now, personally, I would like to see higher savings than that if you're one of those people who is prepared to take the risk of buying the DLC before you even know what it is, because a lot of the time that's how this works. You buy the base game for I suppose technically it's not unreasonable amount, but let's face it, 40 quid, 50 quid. No one really likes spending that amount of money, and you do it because you enjoy the product, you want to experience the product, you want to play the game. If you have enough faith, and if you have the cash on you at the time, you might plump down for the old deluxe edition. Get that season pass in there nice and early, even though you don't know what it is. Because a lot of the time you don't. With a lot of like season pass DLC stuff, all you get told is buy the game, pay half as much again as you just paid for the game, and in the future, at some point in the next couple of months, you will receive more content. But we're not going to tell you what it is. That's quite often how these things work. You might get a vague outline of what they've got planned, or they might give you the name of something, but you're never really given a full, clear indication of what the DLC will be, where it will take place, how it will interact with the game itself. It's just pay this extra money, and at some point in the future, you can have extra content if you have enough faith in the old developer to do that. Saving £4 for doing that is not bad. Personally, I'd like it to be a bit more significant, but then I think everyone would. £4 is not bad when you're spending 60, but for some reason I always like the idea of 10%, like a 10% off sort of thing. Like, you know, if you buy the thing for 60 quid and then look at the bits of DLC separately, you will have saved 10% of that total, so you will have saved £6. I prefer that more. I understand why they don't do that, and it's just to get more profit margin out of the way, but it would be nice, it would be a bit more significant. But I'm not going to complain about £4. £4 is an okay amount to save. Why is this relevant, I hear you ask? Why is this relevant to Civ 6? Well, that's because Civ 6 has gone a slightly different route, which, if I'm understanding it correctly, is fucking dumb and just ridiculous. So, this here is Civ 6. Normal edition, 50 quid, a not insignificant amount of money, I think you'll agree. Deluxe edition, well, digital deluxe, is 60 quid. And what happens then? I mean, let's just show what you get with the digital deluxe. So if we go down, expand your empire further with the Civilization 6 Digital Deluxe, which includes the full base game, the 25th anniversary digital soundtrack, and access to 4 post-launch DLC packs that will add new maps, scenarios, civilizations, and leaders for a bundled discount. So let's just highlight that. A bundled discount right there. And let's highlight this. Access to 4 post-launch DLC packs. Save versus buying DLC packs a la carte. Individual DLC may be sold separately. If you purchase the Digital Deluxe, do not purchase these standalone packs as you will be charged for them. Important to note that. Now, if we go back up here, you will note that there are 4 pieces of downloadable content for this game. You've got Persia and Macedon Civilization and Scenario Pack, you've got the Australia Civilization and Scenario Pack, and you've got Poland Civilization and Scenario Pack, and I can't talk, and you've got the Vikings Scenario Pack, which comes to a total of £21.46. Now, that is the game by itself, which is £50. And that is the cost of the DLC release so far. 4 pieces of DLC, it's worth pointing out. So you get the grand total of a saving of £1.50. I'm sorry, what? You spend £70 on a brand new title and you get to save £1.50 on the first 4 pieces of DLC that come out. Now, I'm assuming that these 4 bits of DLC are in fact the 4 that you get. It could be that they're not. It could be that actually the Digital Deluxe Edition only comes with 3 of them, and say for instance the Viking Scenario Pack is technically separate. That seems incredibly unlikely. I can't see anything that suggests that's the case. It looks like it's just you get 4 pieces of DLC and you save £1.50. That's ridiculous. That is stupid. That is a great way to get people really pissed off with your DLC practices. Because there's a couple of things. There's a couple of incentives for people to spend that extra money on the Digital Deluxe Edition. And, the incentives are clear. You save versus buying the DLC separately. Which you can say, oh well, technically you do save. Technically, yes, but when I'm spending £70 on something and I'm promised a saving of £1.40 something, which is what it comes to, it's not sufficient in my eyes. Call me greedy, but when someone says, oh, if you spend £70, you'll get a saving, I don't expect them to say, but only for £1.50, especially when it's for fucking digital content for a game. That sounds just full of bullshit. That just sounds stupid. You buy it for the saving, and you buy it in terms of there's also like a trust element. As I say, you need to have faith in the company, faith in the game, faith that what you're paying for will be something that you're interested in. Now, the reward for that should be a significant advantage over people who have not paid that price. It should be that you pay your extra money and you literally get something that is better than people who pay the base price for it. It's a display of trust, and it should be rewarded as such. £1.50 off is not a sign of being appreciated for taking that leap. It absolutely isn't. Especially when you consider the modular nature of DLC, especially for games like Civ. Let's have a look at the DLC that we've got here. So we've got 4 new civilizations. Persia and Macedon have been included together, which they haven't done before. Before Poland was separate, Australia was separate. Now they've released 2 civilizations in one pack, and pretty much doubled the price. You've also got the Viking Scenario Pack. Now, if I'd bought the Digital Deluxe edition of Civ VI, and in the first 4 bits of DLC was a Viking Scenario Pack, I would not be happy with that because I don't care. I will not buy the Viking Scenario Pack. At some point over the next 2 years it will show up in the Steam sale and I'll buy it then. Now, I would buy a new civilization. I would buy a couple of new civilizations, but I don't care about the scenario packs. So if you've paid your £70 and you decide that you don't like the DLC that you're receiving, that's bad. Okay, that's unquestionably not what the developer or publisher want to be doing. They do not want to make people resentful of the fact that they stuck down some extra money before they knew what they were getting. Don't do that. That's bad. If you then look at that and decide that you don't like part of the DLC that you've essentially prepaid for, and then find that other people are really not at any sort of disadvantage for picking and choosing what DLC they get, that's a guaranteed way to get people really, really pissy. That's a really good way to ensure that the people that you're trying to sell to think you're an arsehole. And if you go down into the comments, it just gets worse. It gets bad. At the moment, in Brazil, there's a slight issue in that if you buy the Civ VI Digital Deluxe, it's $190. If you buy the base game and the 4 DLCs, it's $178. So if you're from that part of the world and you've bought the Digital Deluxe Edition, you've got your 4 bits of DLC for more than if you just paid for the DLC separately. That's a bit of a problem. That's a bit of an issue. It's baffling to me, right? I do not like this whole thing of buying content before you know what it is. I don't like that. I don't like Digital Deluxe Editions that include season passes, because you don't know what you're going to get with the season pass. And if it's shit, then you've paid for it and you're fucked. You're done. You've paid your money. Tough shit. Deal with it. I don't like that at all. That's why I very rarely do it. I'm happy to pay that extra amount because, well, then I get to choose whether to buy it or not. So if it looks terrible, it makes no difference to me. I never bought it. But doing it the way that Civ 6 has done it is just idiotic. There is no finer way to destroy faith that is, from your user base than to make it so that their extra money becomes almost irrelevant. There's no finer way to get people pissy than to price things incredibly badly, and they've priced it incredibly badly. No one likes DLC, really. No one likes paying for DLC. No one particularly likes season passes. No one really gives a shit about digital deluxe editions that just include a season pass, maybe a soundtrack, and fuck all else. The best way to make sure that people continue disliking that stuff, and the best way to ensure that more people think that you're taking the piss when you do that kind of stuff, is to do exactly what Civ 6 has done with the pricing of their DLC and their Digital Deluxe Edition. A £1.50 saving isn't worth it compared to the choice of being able to decide which DLC you get, and the fact that they've done it the way they have is dumb on every single level. Do not do it again, for the love of God. People hate it, and it makes people hate you, and then you get sad because everyone's ripping on you. Don't fucking do it. If you like that little rant, then obviously leave a like. There's a couple more things to click there, like another video, you maybe subscribe to the channel, and there's a link to Patreon as well if you wanted to click it, but you don't have to. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Toodaloo.